This video will show you the simplicity of cave trapping, as well as the complexity of cave trapping. This is an example of a simple cave trap. Pushes these 5 blocks on both sides and pulls out the 5. It is made by, it's like commonly found by Lurfree, this fella. It's a very basic mech. Yeah, it just powers these pistons, and then unpowers these. There's nothing very difficult about it, but it's a simple one because how easy it is to make, but then also how easy it is to see it's a trap. Just like if you were running and you see somebody just like hide in the corner, like just hide here, not minding anything, or even blocked in, it's gonna be suspicious just seeing how the terrain is. It's very flat, just kind of obvious. That's the issue with a lot of simple cave traps, how obvious everything is. I can like show you how to design simple cave traps. Well, that's what we're gonna do right now. Yay! When making a simple cave trap, I'm classifying it as like not using any limestone or any like double piston extensions, none of that. I have a little cave I just like quickly made. This would probably be like on a little sharper of an angle, you know, just like because it's very like, you know, angled. I feel you'd want to have like a little bit, you know. So an example of like making a simple cave trap is pushing these 2 blocks, because we're gonna pull out these 3, 1, 2, and 3. Pull on that block. So then you're gonna also want you to have some pistons just like along this side, so they also get pushed in. But now the hard part, but it's very simple, is how this cave is. Which side to pull out on. We're gonna pull out this direction because there is a lower piston, which increases chance of quasi, and that will break your trap. So obviously it's this block and then these 2. Get your pistons. This is like showing the idea, obviously. So now we have all the pistons in place. We already know what the pull block is right here. I'm gonna place a lever. Now we have to connect everything together. So on the side without pull, I like having it have a separate pull, just out of like how easy it is. You have to have like a double line because it doesn't connect unless you want to like get a slab, or a stair, but then light goes through it and it just like makes it kind of obvious. So this is like an idea of how to wire it. It's not very clean. You could also try to like power this block and it would power both, but I'm just gonna use this for demonstration purposes. And as you see, it does push the blocks, which is its intention. Now the hard part is getting the side where it pulls out as well as pushes. That's obviously more difficult because you can't have your wire here because it's going to end up having like problems, most likely. It's not due to how this is set up, but if this piston was a block lower, like right here, it's going to like just be off things and then just a mess. So we're gonna have that side be behind this block instead of next to it. You have to have the 2 because the blocks, and then you just, I'm gonna connect the pushing mechs first. I prefer doing this first so I have everything out so it won't quasi, and then you're just gonna, I'm gonna place a torch here because this line of redstone will deactivate the torch whenever you pull it. You have to do this a lot with cave traps. You place dust, 2 pieces of dust for this one. It's a little simple, and everything works. If you were a little bit more advanced, you would probably have something like a double extender here to push, funnel that, and then this just to have a little bit more safety with pulling the trap, making sure they like fall down. But right now it works. It's basically this one, the Larfries one, but 3 wide and adjusted to terrain. You have to be very flexible with cave traps because this terrain looks much more believable. Realistically, let me block this up. This looks a lot less like a trap than just a hallway. This is more of a complex cave trap due to the double extensions in the slimestone. But it's simple because it doesn't, like, nothing pushes. It's really just double extenders and then this single extender, because then that would have to be a triple extender and that's just not really good. The redstone, you have this part which is just the retraction for this single block, and then this connects to 2 sets of double piston extenders. These are my design. They're a little bit speedier than the easier ones with the than this version. It's like 1 tick faster because this is 0 tick, 1 tick, and the retraction is 3 ticks. Meanwhile, this is obviously 4 tick. Yeah, it's just 2 double piston extenders, but then also this is like advanced due to the cave being like actually like part of the trap. I made the cave as if this was in Hoplite, which is the example I'm basing everything off of. Hoplite generation, that's why the caves look a little bit different than vanilla. But this is just the simple version of the complex cave traps I have. Nothing crazy, you dig? This is one of my examples of a more complex cave trap. So it pushes these 2, pushes these 3, 1, 2, 3. You can see the exposed pistons. Pulls these 2 out. Oh, these 3. Pulls these 3 out, as well as pulls out 3 double extensions, and it pushes these 2 blocks as well. The redstone behind this dust goes up, powers these 2 pistons, and then also powers these 2. But then this redstone wire also deactivates this torch, which goes into a double mech and into a pushing. This side's pushing, just so everything's like a little bit more connected, I guess, is how I'd say it. This wire is connected to a 1 tick, which is why you can do it, because it's a 1 tick pulse. Sticky pistons will drop the block. I'm just gonna demonstrate. 1 tick, it acts as a regular piston, but it will still retract after a second pulse. And then, yeah, obviously just a double mech down here I could have made a single extending mech, like seeing the flat ground, but I just made a double. I don't know. This side, it is a little bit more. There's a double extender mech that has the observer pulse, the 2-tick delay, that will power it. Still have the double work, but it powers all of these pistons. These pistons would pull out, and these would push the blocks in. So basically, these would go back here, and then it's these two would come here to make like a big flat wall. You could make this more complex, but it's very difficult, because what you would do is, instead of having single tick, you would have clocks. As like in clock funnels, you just have a clock mechanism probably connected here for this side, where it would go. You'd probably, where's a repeater I can steal? Right here. You'd have repeater, dust, and frick, I don't have a torch. Into just a simple clock mech like this, because then whenever you pull the trap, it will clock, and then it would make sure they don't get swim glitch, which is a bug on Hoplite, which I are yet to fix, which is annoying. But yeah, it's just using your knowledge of other traps, such as Lurfery's, Simple, this one, and then the demonstration one. This one I would run every game instead of this one. I really hate this, it's so obvious. But then this is just like one-upping it. And just combining knowledge from 2x2 diagonal flat ground, as well as 5x1. This is an example of a more complex cave trap, due to the two different type of poles that you would be able to do for two different traps. So you have a very basic 2x2 pole, which is connected directly here, and just is a double mech. But then also you have an automatic pulling mechanism, to where when you pull it, it would just pull all that out. How the automatic pull works is, if you can pick up the item, it would update the observer, as well as update this one redstone dust. So it would deactivate this torch, which in this case would activate this, which would deactivate this torch, which would pull this singular block out. And then this is just the extending the pulse, due to it would just be way too fast. On this side, you have the observer pulse, power of 4-tick and a 1-tick, which also extends into a 9-tick through the observer. So these would all deactivate this torch, which is just the regular 2x2 mech. So you pull it, but this is a double pull trap, which is very hard to do if it's not a cave, because caves are so confined and based on terrain. It's just almost impossible to do it on flat. Now we're looking at one of my favorite traps that I have probably on this entire world, just because it's so fun. So you have this first pull, this was shown in the intro, where it pushes the single and then pulls out using the flat by one opening mech. That's where it's most commonly found, and just this simple push. We're gonna look at the redstone after I pull the second part, which basically just adds a 2x6, I mean a 3x2 flat ground opening. And everything's connected for only this side. As you see, this does not do all this. The redstone behind the small simple one, you activate this block, which powers this piece of piston. But while you also power this, it goes on this side, which will deactivate this torch doing the simple little pizza, not pizza, freaking 5x1 Mac. So you have a 2x2 opening, because the only other directions that you could open it in like a 2x2, if you added this block, is already like, this is part of the funnels, and then this is the double extenders. So you had to do just a basic 2x2, and then there's a double extender. It's a little weird because you have to connect it to pull, because this takes forever. Obviously it's a 4-tick. You have to deactivate that torch that's activating this piston, because otherwise it would be a tick too late. And then for the single block right here, this fella, it's literally just a low percent torch connected to pull. But yeah, this is probably one of the more complex traps because it's a double trap, as you see. It's 2. Oh my gosh, why did I do it like that? So this is the first one, second one, which in and of itself, the flat ground part would have been already a good thing, but I made it connect to this. So this is, I'd say, is more complex than a double pull, even though that it is also 2 traps. It's just it's just funky. You have to have a full inventory so you don't activate it early, and then you have to like offhand something or throw something. I don't like it. But it's, so far this is the most complicated cave trap I believe I've made. But let's see if I can make something more complicated. Okay, so how to make a cave trap. How I make it, I mark my waypoints on where I want to go. We're gonna be making a double cave trap. Ooh, that's so cool. I know, it's awesome, isn't it? So you're gonna, you always want to start off with either the entrance or the bottom. If it's the middle, it can be a little hard to understand how to make your terrain. I recommend practicing. I practiced a little bit, and then I just play with it and learned. So this is the shape that I'm gonna be doing because I like the shape. I'm just gonna, actually, I'm gonna make this like, yeah, kind of like this. So goes down when the Y goes down. This like shifts. We're gonna make a 1x3. So you're gonna, I'm actually just gonna do that, so I don't have to make a second pushing side. So we're gonna mark this as pull. Then we're gonna actually, because I'm making double, I'm gonna dig out to the second trap, like the second part. I'm gonna make it kinda like this. I'm gonna do like a head hitter, because I think it'd be fun. Right here. Okay, so for the first one, you're gonna, as I said before, I feel like it's best to always start with the pushing max. Shut up. So, yeah, you have to wire it like this, because otherwise, I'm acting as if there was grass here. There's not adamantly any grass there, but it works. That's what matters. Now we're gonna make our little spot for our slimestone. Woo! I love slimestone. I do too. So. Okay, we're back in. So it's just a 5x1 flat ground little opening mate, and instead it's 3 wide. You're gonna block it off with furnaces on the sides that it's not pulling. I'm unsure about this spot because of pull. As you see, you're gonna have to like. I'm gonna try to have it connect to the back, but you see, then you'd have to go out the extra block, kinda. Or you do that, which I guess we could do for the. What did I do? Okay, so it turns out I made the pushing on the wrong side. I know. I'm very smart today. So we're just gonna like scooch this on over. This is a good demonstration of how everybody makes mistakes. So now it works. This normally whenever you make a double cave like this, you want it both to be on the simpler side. But now for the second part, we're making a very fun one. Super duper fun, trust me. What we're doing? Making a head hitter. Ooh, I love head hitters. We're not making a head hitter. So we're gonna remake it. We all love making caves, so it's always been fun. So we're gonna make it a little wonky. Yeah. Kinda like wah, you dig? And then we're gonna I don't like that. We're gonna go more away, kinda like following the idea of the trap, kinda. But you see how flat this is? It's so obvious. Gonna break it down. Kinda like this, I'd say. Does this look good? Yeah, I'd say that looks good. Okay, so this gotta not mess with this one. So we're gonna have this one push, and this one push, and this one push, and this one push, and this one push. Very simple. Literally, if they're like anywhere over here, they're gonna get funneled into a 1x2. And hopefully, I can not deal with quasi connectivity. Pull right here. Right, yeah. Now, power your little piston. Without a piston, you're missing. What the frick? So, so now you got your two pushing pistons, making sure you're safe when you pull it. As long as you don't do that, you can't like. You have to make sure you're not on the last like 3 pixels. You can't be that. You gotta be like a little bit more. So now gotta connect these pistons to these pistons. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna power it like a little magician. You know, see how magical this line of redstone is? I'm jealous personally. And now it pushes. Hooray! Now can you guess what we do for the other one? I don't think you can guess. We connect it with the other one. You're such a smart cookie, you. And now as you see, it all pushes. But how are we gonna get it to pull out? You might ask. You gotta connect this wire to this stuff. With somehow not messing with this stuff. Let's see. Would it work if I, by chance, did something like this? That it worked for this one. Is this one broken? No. So now we have a good old double trap. Just gotta block that in. So, you got your little cave trap, your second one. And then your super simple first one. But now, hey, how do I make the top not look like a stupid person? You know? So you gotta make sure you open it out. You see, this looks very weird. Seeing how it's all, like, following. You have to have some grass. Some freaking funky spots, so... yeah. And now, gotta uncover. This is the hardest part, I'd say, besides making the actual cave. So as you can see, it looks kind of weird because the cave was kind of funky looking. But it works. You might cover this side up. So you'd bait it. Like you run down, or preferably get punched down. Ah! They're hitting me down a cave. I'm trapped. And you pull it. Oh, there's more. You mind the block. Run down. Ah, please don't get me. Don't mind. Just like try to, I don't know, place like a crafting table or something. You get hit, you pull it, and then they fall, die.
For this final segment, I'm going to play some clips of us baiting, then I'm going to go through and explain everything we did and why. So, Shadow hits this guy to get him off of our teammate, and now that they're both aggroed onto him, he falls into the cave backwards to make it look accidental. And the Agloss guy gets hit away by our teammate, so Shadow only gets one in the trap. So here our teammate just died, so Shadow tries to steal some of the loot and anger them again, before running back towards the trap. This guy with Agloss boosts and gets in front of him, which is hard to back in, but he manages to get hit backwards into the cave. He pulls the trap really early here, but manages to kill one anyways. So in this clip I'm baiting, and I jump into the cave, but make it look like I missed the jump, so he's more inclined to jump in on top of me. I get hit into the cave, like away from the pull, so it makes it kind of hard to trap him. But Shadow jumps in and saves me, so we manage to get him into the trap. Okay, so in this clip, we're running a double cave trap, so there are two. Shadow starts hitting the first guy, and the second guy runs along. He fights them a little bit before beginning to run, just to make it more believable. He eats a gap, starts spamming a couple blocks down. And here he gaps so that he gets hit into the cave, which is really clean, so they think it was more accidental. Shadow pulls and gets two in. And then he gets the second guy in the second part of the cave. Hey, you watched until the end. You should join our brand new Discord server where you can talk to me and Shadow, get trapping help, and suggest ideas for future videos.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo! If this gives me 3, I'm gonna kiss you. It gave me 3, where's my kiss? Sorry.